गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट। आज हमारा टॉपिक है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ न्यू स्पीसीज फ्रॉम द एग्जिस्टिंग स्पीसीज। हमें नई स्पीसीज कब मिलेंगी? हमें नई स्पीसीज एग्जिस्टिंग स्पीसीज से ही मिलेंगी। द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ न्यू स्पीसीज from existing species is mainly due to one or more of the following factors. They are accumulation of variation, physical barrier, genetic drift, natural selection, and migration. Accumulation of variation. The differences between the individual of the same species is called the variation. The accumulation of variation over several generations produce the new species. यानी एग्जिस्टिंग से ही हमें क्या मिलता है, जो एग्जिस्ट स्पीसीज है उसी से हमें न्यू स्पीसीज मिलता है ना। और उसमें अगर कुछ चेंजेस आ गए तो उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? वेरिएशन बोलते हैं। और फॉर एग्जांपल एक जनरेशन से सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, फिफ्थ, यानी कि अगर हम फर्स्ट जनरेशन और सेवन जनरेशन की बात करें तो उसके अंदर क्या होगा? कुछ चेंजेस होंगे। इसी को हम क्या बोलते हैं? अकोमुलेशन ऑफ वेरिएशन। नेक्स्ट हमारे पास है फिजिकल वेरियर। Population may get separated by physical barrier like mountains, river, lake, etc. These isolated groups produce variation which can produce new species. Genetic drift, natural climate or introduction of new member of the same species in an area can produce change in the gene pool of the population, and new variation are produced which can produce new species. Natural selection. Only those individuals of species which have useful variation and can adapt to the change in the environment survive and other die. These organisms can produce variation and new species. Migration. Some individual of species may migrate to a new geographical adjustment to the change in the environment. There are develop new variation and produce new species. Next, evaluation. The gradually change taking place in the living organism giving rise to new organism due to change in their genetic composition is called evolution. Inherited traits. Inherited traits are the traits in an organism due to change in the genetic composition, and it can be passed from one generation to the next, and it results in evolution. Acquired traits. Acquired traits are traits which are acquired by an organism. Acquired means adopt करना. An organism during its lifetime, and it cannot be passed from one generation to the next, and it does not result in evolution. Evidence of evolution. There are number of common features in the different organisms which provide evidence to show evolutionary relationship. The main evidence of the evaluation are from the study of homologous, analogous organs and fossils. Homologous organ are organs which are similar to structure but different in function. Structure same लेकिन function कैसे होंगे? Different. The four limbs of amphibian, reptile, birds and mammals have similar structure but different function. Frog use its four limbs to rise the front of the body. Lizards use its forelimb for walking and running. Birds' forelimb are modified as wings for flying. Mammal use the forelimb for grasping, walking, running, swimming, flying, etc. These show evolutionary relationship. This was the example: human, frog and birds. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास देखो, analogous organ are organ which are different in structure but similar in function. The wings of butterfly, birds and bat have the different structure but similar function. This show evolutionary relationship. Bat wings, bird's wing, insect wings, and this was the difference. Fossils are the remains of organisms which lived long ago. From the study of fossils, we can know their structure and the time period in which they live. The fossils of complex and recent organisms are found closer to the surface of the earth, and the fossils of similar organisms are found deeper inside the earth. The age of fossil can be determined by the radiocarbon dating. The study of fossils show evolution of similar forms into complex form and their evolutionary relationship. Evolution by stage, complex organism and its organ develop from similar organism gradually over generation. Evolution of eyes. The eye of planaria are just eyes port to detect light. It developed gradually into complex organ in higher animal. Feathers. Feathers were first developed in dinosaur and used for protect from cold. Later birds used them for flying. Evolution by artificial selection. Human cultivated wild cabbage for over 2000 years and produce different vegetables from it by artificial selection. Cabbage by selecting short distance between the leaves. Cauliflower by selecting spiral flower. Kale by selecting large leaves. Kohlrabi by selecting swollen stem, etc. Embryology. Evolution should not be equated with the progress. Evolution has not resulted in progress. Evolution has resulted in the formation of several complex species from simpler species due to variation, genetic drift, and natural selection. This does not mean that one species gets eliminated when the new species are formed or that the new species are better than the older species. Species get eliminated only if they are not able to adapt to the change in the environment. Several species which could adapt to the change in the environment still continue to survive. For example, bacteria. Human beings have not evolved from chimpanzee. They had the common ancestor from which they evolved separately. Human beings are not the pinnacle of evolution, but they are only species among the several evolving species. Human evolution. There is a great diversity among human beings in their form and features around the world. Human beings evolved in the Africa. Some of them stayed there then due to genetic variation and the environment changes. The different geographical regions they developed change in their form and features. This was the evolution in the human being.